vez más, American McGee ha hecho un nuevo stream hablando sobre avances en la preproducción de Alice 3, desde Nuevo Arte conceptual, Progreso en la escritura de la historia y una pequeña actualización sobre cómo van las cosas con la publicadora china misteriosa con la que están negociando para recuperar los derechos de Alice, además de hablar sobre una posible serie de TV.
People like animations. Go figure. Now, I think for sure we showed this off before. This is just the sequence of Alice weaving her way through the circus as she tries to escape the turtle. So this would be, again, prior to the scene where she's holding the moon in her hand.
I've never seen this image.
Okay, then, see, I don't remember what we showed on the last stream. That's why I threw a couple of things in here, just kind of be safe and hope that maybe we are not dropping anything on the floor. I don't know. This could get done up with higher resolution. I'm not sure that it will. Again, one of the reasons that these pieces of art are getting put together is to illustrate this series of scenes that are written in text here. This is actually just after she crashes the moon into the Queen's Garden. Yeah. Now, it's a nice one.
Yeah.
So what we're going to find here is that this scene takes place right at the edge of sort of like a pond, like a fish pond or a koi pond or something, and that pond is where the turtle is on which the whole circus sequence had taken place, right?
Okay.
So you're going to realize in this scene that you were in the other scenes down tiny in the pond, and then you rode the moon out. And then you incapacitated the moon, causing it to crash. And as you flew out of it, you grew up big. It stayed small. And so then you'll see that in this scene, she's able to capture the moon in her hand. And then she's going to hand the moon to her White Rabbit plush. And he's going to stick it in a pocket for a plot device, which we'll use later on.
Okay.
So yeah, this is going to be a fairly critical scene because she's actually inadvertently collecting one of the first pieces of her kind of journey as she overcomes this obstacle, which kind of links into, you know, the first step into adventure and the hero kind of making progress and going out into the world to confront chaos. So,
all right,
should be okay.
Could be.
There has been a lot of art getting made, so. We've got a new artist on the team. His name is Adam. He is in Poland, and he's been doing some pretty fantastic stuff. This is a scene where Alice enters into the Queen's domain. This is after she's crashed the moon and having escaped the circus. And she gets her first kind of encounter with the Chaos Monster. So this is her. She's got her Queen's Realm dress on, and you can see she's got like the funny... kind of doll leg stockings on.
Yep.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. But this is the first time...
great cosplay of this dress.
There was. Really nice.
Forget her name.
I don't know, but we sell those stockings on the Mysterious Shop, I think. I don't know if
we
do.
Do.
There. Anyway, the point of this section of the game is for Alice to have her first encounter with the Chaos Monster. Which is rendered here as tentacles. I love tentacles.
I know.
Everyone
we
loves
all
tentacles. And they are, of course, having their way with these sad card guards. Now, we previously showed off what happens when card guards, or basically anything in Wonderland, meets tentacles. And it looks kind of like this, which I love. I mean, if there's any one reason why we've got to make this game, I think it's this. The idea that we would have a procedural beastie monster that infects the regular characters of the game, turning them from... They might be like friends, they might be kind of frenemies, they might even be proper enemies, but I think by and large a lot of the characters that Alice encounters in Asylum are not... They don't start off as enemies, but this thing sure as hell turns them into enemies. So having a game where that's a premise for enemies, I think is a lot of fun.
It is.
So we've done some pretty cool art on this.
Bob? Gurgling sounds.
Anyway, I tell you, if there's a reason to make the game, this is it right here. Is tentacle monsters eating innocent card guards. So the first time that Alice sees this and the first time that the player sees this will be in this section here, in the Queen's Garden. And these card guards are kind of just going around minding their own business, and Alice is just trying to make her way to the Queen so that she can ask for her, being set free from Wonderland and sent back home. And then this is going to be the first indication that, something's not right in Wonderland. Something is eating everything. Octo Chicken says we can bring tentacle tech to the next level, then sell it. Sell that tech to the Japanese developers and fund Mysterious for the next decade.
Could do.
I mean, the Japanese must already have some pretty advanced tentacle tech. I imagine it's like trade secret stuff that they keep away from us. They don't want us to have that kind of technology. So we're just going to have to build our own tentacle technology. Tentatech. So yeah, this is Queensland Tentacle Encounter card guards. This image we got done, it also features some tentacle business, but I really like this. So Omri was sketching up this scene. All of this is coming out of the Asylum story, which, by the way, we're going to get into a little bit later in the stream. So this is a scene in which Alice, wearing the Inferno dress, comes face to face with, I guess we call her Fire Alice. Inferno Alice. But it's the little girl that you see there. She's pretty cool.
She's got no legs. It's all kind of like Cenobite, Hellraiser-esque, being held up with chains.
Anyway, that is 11-year-old Alice. She's sort of like the focal point of a lot of the anger that Alice feels and that is captured in this zone underneath the Queen's throne room. And I really like that Omri did a kind of reinterpretation of the tentacles as chains.
Nice.
I think which kind of got me thinking like, throughout the rest of the game, we could have the tentacles be presented from a variety of different types of material. That could be quite cool. Anyway, I really like this a lot.
It's a good one.
Now,
I'm certain this will be a print in the future.
I think so. Now, this room, it exists within the dungeons that are underneath the Queen's castle. And this portal, doorway, whatever you want to call that at the top there, this actually leads into the floor underneath the Queen's throne room. So at the end of this battle, Alice will be kind of pulled up into the throne room with her little rabbit. And you'll see this scene continue with a confrontation with the Queen. But yeah, this turned out really nice.
Certainly did. People are loving the chain tentacles in the chat.
Yeah, I really like those a lot. It's possible that one of the things we could try to push for is that the chaos, as it's eating Wonderland, maybe it's sort of using elements of Wonderland to form itself into these tentacles. So you could imagine that as it chews through, say, a grassy, flowery field, it could be that the tentacles are kind of made up of the constituent parts of a grassy, flowery field. It sort of turns them into nightmarish stuff, though, right? All right, back to art review. So this is the original series of 4 sketches. I love these so much. This is the original series of 4 sketches that Adam did to kind of ask our team which direction to go. So he had asked us as a team which ones of these he should go forward with. I particularly liked this one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Why? I should have stayed in bed this morning. I shouldn't have got out of my deck. So this one I liked a lot. Now, this caused a bit of controversy. I posted this online, and a lot of people got bent over the fact that she's got a very long blade.
Like a Vorpal sword.
It's like a Vorpal sword.
It's going so far, it's going through the gates.
And it was
massive.
It was interesting because a lot of people they think like, oh, you've presented a couple of rough sketches that aren't even colored in. Oh no, are you changing the shape of the Vorpal blade? Is this gospel? Like, no, it's a rough concept sketch. We're not. And I saw that there was a couple of comments like that. Oh no, you've made her skirt too short, or you made the blade too long. Oh no, what do you know? And it's like, guys, come on. It's just a concept sketch. There's no intention in any of this to rework major elements of the Alice character. It's just the artist trying to get this scene done where the main point is communicating the card guard is getting gobbled up by the chaos monster, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so he ended up doing this one is the one we were showing off. Huh?
The full color one at the beginning?
Well,
That was like top left.
Eat it, Martin. Eat it.
We didn't show this one yet.
Well, there you go. You're wrong.
You're wrong twice.
Oh no! Look, her eyes are red. Oh,
have you removed Alice's eyes for this game?
Oh, she doesn't have eyes. What have you done? Oh, I'm never playing one of your games again. Yeah, no. So that would be funny though. Alice 3. Now I can't see.
Yeah.
He's like that pit in Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. Is that the Sarlacc?
Sarlacc pit.
He's got like a Sarlacc pit in his mouth. Talk about bad breath.
For a tiny Boba Fett to fall into.
That would be really cool. But yeah, I mean, I think this guy's got to have some really terrible breath. So that is the two images that he did. He did this one and the one that we started off art review with. Again, he's doing really great work. Very happy to have him on the team. He's fast. He's good. What can you say? It's great. So we now have a total of 7 artists. It's a lot. We've got Jen, Dario, Alex, Norm, Omri, Adam, and did I say Alex? I've missed. Oh, Joey. Okay, so that's 7 artists.
Not bad.
That's a lot. So this is the moon on the outside. This is the moon from the inside. Once Alice defeats the moon and infiltrates the bridge. Monster break. Tentacles. Again, I just want to say one more time, if there's a reason to make this new game, it's simply to get this tentacle tech made. I think it's going to make everybody's lives better. There you go. Now, this is a final-ish version of this scene where we have Alice giving her rabbit plush to this little girl. My issue is that this little girl is nowhere near street urchin-y enough. So what I had called for in the script was that she was handing her rabbit over to a little girl who's described as a street urchin, which means she's basically homeless. She should be covered in filth, and she should be not even maybe wearing matching shoes, if shoes at all. So anyway, there will be some adjustments made to this in the future, but for now, it's fine. This is going to be an art print, and it's pretty cool. Now, this is a pivotal moment in the story. I'm still not exactly sure where this is going to fit into the story because there's sort of 2 variations on this. There is the very first. Now, she's very street urchin-y here. There is this scene. Now, I think this is the first scene the first time that you see that scene. You see it in this rendering, which is quite sad and depressing, and it's meant to signify a very dark turning point in adult Alice's life. Now, when we revisit the scene, which I think we're going to do later on in the story, it will have transformed in this fashion. And what we're working on right now, so for those of you who tuned into this live stream today to hear us go on about the Alice Asylum story and some of the stuff that we're dealing with there, I don't know that we're going to dig very deeply into that, because what I have planned is that myself and Alex Crowley are going to take all the comments that those of you who wrote comments over on Patreon about the story stuff, we're going to take all those comments and we are going to then work on some new feedback and, how shall I say it, just new thinking about how to fill in some of the pieces that come in the narrative kind of partway through the second scene, leading into the third act. There we go. Okay, so anyway, later in the live stream, we are going to go through some of this. This is the Alice Asylum narrative outline. There are tons of spoilers in this, but if you're interested in it, it is available. There's a link to it over in a Patreon post as of, like, I think 10 days ago. So when you see this artwork, what's driving all the artwork that's getting done, all these scenes, is the story of the game, and it's all outlined here, or not all of it, but a large portion of it is outlined here. So that's where our artists are getting their cues for this artwork. You know, for those of you who are kind of wondering, like, well, where are we at in terms of business development? Where are we at with EA? Where are we at with Redacted? Maybe it's a good moment to kind of touch on that a bit. So Redacted, which is this Chinese publisher, they just sent me a message. Where's my phone?
It's over there.
There it is. They sent me a message that reads, "Hey, American, thanks for the updates and materials. We will have another round of internal discussions this week and get back to you next week, probably with a few further questions in parentheses, and we can schedule a follow-up call afterwards." That was sent on Tuesday of this week. So this is from Redacted. That is a large Chinese publisher slash kind of everything, because that's how a lot of these large Chinese companies are. And this is about them funding us to build a studio which then would go on to build Alice Asylum. But as many of you know, they want us to first do a smaller project, a less ambitious project, to kind of build out the studio, improve our capabilities and things like that. But this is still in progress, and it's still going well as far as I can tell, because all the back and forth we've had with them is really good. And meanwhile, we have this conversation going on with Redacted 2, which is a Hollywood film production company that has made some very big movies over the years, and very successful movies as well. They are attaching themselves to this, I don't know how you would say it, sort of, they're supporting everything that's going on with Redacted. And so the two of them are now aware of each other, and the Hollywood guys are putting together a pitch, which they're going to go out to HBO and Netflix and Amazon and Hulu and all these. And what's happening is there's a kind of virtuous, symbiotic kind of growing up and level of interest and power and energy coming out of all that, which is really, really, really positive. And that's kind of where all this comes back in, like making sure that we get all the story stuff on paper, getting all the imagery in there, building what is our design Bible, which is very much like a graphic novel too. They really like the Oz Adventures story that we put together as something that can be turned into like a epic TV series on the scale of, you know, they mentioned, by the way, they mentioned that it would be on the scale of Game of Thrones, that type of stuff. Now, that's what they're pitching, right? They're doing essentially what we do when we go to pitch a game studio, but they're doing it as a film production company, and they're pitching to the guys who have all the big bucks for producing television series. So anyway, it's all very good. It's very virtuous, like collaboration that's going on, and I'm pretty happy about it.
Yay.
Yeah. Any other?
Not Disney, please.
It's not Disney. Well, they may pitch to Disney, but I don't know that that's who's going to be picking it up, because it's like what we're pitching for Oz is very much like Black Mirror, Twilight Zone. It's pretty dark, and I don't know that Disney produces really dark TV shows like that. Maybe.
Who knew?
Yeah, who knows? Have all of this ready to go, and I think that once this design Bible's done, my sense is that EA will be shamed into doing something, because my goal is for us to have our design the design Bible be so beautiful and so engaging and so complete that and we'll release it publicly so that the public viewing it and the media, the press, the other companies go, what the hell is wrong with you guys? Your name is Electronic Arts, and yet here's this beautiful piece of art, and why don't you guys get out of the way and let this happen? That's my goal with the design Bible. That's why we're building all this. That's where all this art's coming from. So
That was the original meaning of the name, wasn't it? I remember you telling me that the idea was literally electronic artists, a platform to showcase art.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, there you go.
But I think I feel really good about where the story's heading. I feel really good about the comments we got back. It's fairly consistent feedback that we're getting about the story that's been written so far. And you know, I'm enjoying this process of crowd designing a narrative, crowd designing a game. I feel that a lot of the writing that's getting done is flowing very naturally. It's flowing very easily, and it's great to have all these visuals to wrap around what it is that we're doing. If there is any kind of struggle going on for me right now, it's that we have multiple ways in which I think we could resolve the story, and it's just a matter of making sure we pick the best way from the probably 5 or 6 different ways I can imagine off the top of my head that it could go. And so that's what we're working through right now. That's what Alex and I are going to talk about over the coming days. So I expect that going into next week, and by the time we come back for the next live stream, there will be quite a bit more added to the story document, and then we will be presenting that to our Insane Children over on Patreon. Those of you who are interested in that stuff can go and read all that and continue to engage with it. And then I think we're going to get, you know, close to done on the narrative outline relatively soon. And then all the work we're doing will just be on finishing the design Bible going into the new year. So that's good. I think we're making good progress.
Seen multiple endings question mark asked a couple of times.
Yeah, I don't think we want to do that. I've said this before. Now, I mean, I'm not going to rule it out completely. Let's see where the narrative discussion takes us. But I've always been concerned about multiple endings because they generally they tend to suggest that you got to the point where we are now, where you can think of 4 or 5 viable endings, and you go, well, let's just do multiple endings. And I think from a creative perspective, I'd rather that we presented a strong and final and meaningful ending that neatly wraps up everything we're trying to communicate with the game, instead of suggesting that what we were trying to communicate was so busy and muddled that you could potentially see it ended 4 or 5 different ways. So I'm not a big fan of multiple endings. We will be back maybe in 2 weeks for a drunken morning Christmas Eve live stream. Who knows? We'll see.
We'll see.
Love you all. Appreciate all the support. Happy stuff.
Yes. See you later.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Esto es todo lo que hay respecto a Alice por parte de American. Definitivamente se está viendo que la preproducción de Alice 3 está yendo bien. Gracias por pasar.